It was August 28th, 2021, when the Minneapolis Central High School STEM building expansion crew began renovating the old building's robotics laboratory section, and 51-year-old construction manager William Chen's breath caught when he opened the sealed wall of the old equipment storage. Behind the wall was a small area that didn't appear on any plans, and on the concrete floor lay a human skeleton still wearing a faded blue and silver team uniform, with scattered robotic parts and a project notebook beside it. Within hours, DNA would confirm what the Minneapolis, Minnesota community had feared for 18 years. They'd finally found Victoria Martinez, the beloved 18-year-old robotics team captain who vanished after entering the equipment storage following Friday night national competition project work. Her locker was organized, math homework was completed, Saturday competition preparation notes were on the desk, as if she'd simply gone home. The truth was far darker. She'd been murdered and sealed in the equipment storage by someone she trusted, someone whose special programming technique she wanted to see, someone who'd continued coaching at the laboratory for years using her memory. For 18 years, students had designed robots in the adjacent room, never knowing their beloved team captain's body lay hidden behind the wall. Criminal laboratory technicians examined organic materials and concrete samples found in the storage area. Sweat traces, blood stains, hair strands, evidence that had been left exactly 18 years ago. A scan began in the Minnesota State Forensic DNA Database. The result was shocking. The DNA samples pointed to a name, Marcus Stone, robotics coach. There was another DNA on the area's walls, on concrete blocks, and on robotic equipment. Saliva traces, skin cells, sweat samples. The database gave results in 2.0 seconds. Marcus Stone, 64 years old, a man who had worked as robotics coach at Minneapolis Central High School for 26 years. DNA analyses, concrete samples, and organic materials inside the area pointed to a name Minneapolis had trusted for 18 years, robotics coach Marcus Stone. Stone had joined Victoria's search teams, supported the Martinez family's theory at school meetings that maybe she got early admission to MIT, maybe she left for a robotics internship. He had given an interview on the local news channel, said, "Victoria was a great engineer. I taught her coding every day. I miss her so much." Now police were asking him one question. How was Victoria's body lying in your laboratory for 18 years with your DNA, Marcus? In the equipment storage of Minneapolis Central High School STEM building, 7 meters beyond the robotics laboratory, behind the sealed wall, Victoria Martinez's skeletal remains were found. 18 years old, a young genius dreaming of studying at MIT and becoming a robotics engineer. Silenced because the robotics coach wanted to show her a special artificial intelligence programming algorithm. William Chen was an experienced construction manager at 51 years old. He had been working on school building expansion projects throughout Minnesota and surrounding areas for 28 years. He had served on dozens of STEM center, science building, and technology laboratory projects. Minneapolis Central High School STEM building had opened in 1995 and had been serving the community for 26 years. With a fully equipped robotics laboratory, computer programming studios, and engineering workshops, it was the city's most prestigious STEM center. But by 2021, the school budget had been approved for a new expansion project to serve more students, to house more equipment. Chen and his 23-person crew started work on August 23, 2021. A 16-week project was expected. On Saturday afternoon, August 28, 2021, Chen and his crew were working in the building's old robotics laboratory section. The plan was to renovate the old equipment storage and install modern storage systems. At 3:58 p.m., the crew reached the wall section of the old equipment storage. The wall was made of thick concrete, approximately 11 inches thick. According to architectural plans, There should only be empty space behind this wall. Chin began hitting the wall with a sledgehammer. First strike, the concrete cracked slightly. Second strike, the crack widened. Third strike, a hole formed. Chen shined his light through the hole. What he saw froze his blood. A small area, about 5 feet wide, 7 feet long, and on the floor, a skeleton, blue and silver team uniform, robotic parts, notebook. Chen backed away, his hands starting to shake. He called to his crew. "Everyone stop. I'm calling the police. Immediately." The Minneapolis Police Department arrived at the scene at 4:32 p.m. 4 patrol cars came first, followed by Detective Sarah Johnson's unmarked vehicle. Johnson was 47 years old, had been a cop for 22 years, and had been working in the cold case unit for the last 11 years. She knew Minnesota's big cities very well. She had seen how missing persons cases destroyed families. Forensic teams meticulously examined the sealed area. Crime scene technicians photographed from every angle, measured distances, collected samples from every surface. The skeleton was lying on its side, arms crossed over chest. There was blunt trauma to the left back of the skull, a single powerful impact point with a heavy blunt object. Clothing remnants were faded blue and silver robotics team uniform designed for national competition, worn athletic shoes. Next to the skeleton were robotic parts, servo motors, electronic circuits, project notebook. A silver bracelet on the left wrist was engraved with the letters VM. "A robotics student," Johnson said quietly. "She made projects or worked here. We need to check the entire history of this school and missing person cases from the last 30 years." Minneapolis Central High School records were meticulously reviewed by Johnson and her team over the following hours. The school had trained hundreds of STEM students for decades. In the files, there was one significant missing person case from 2003. Victoria Martinez, 18 years old, high school senior, robotics team captain, disappeared under mysterious circumstances on Friday, October 24th, 2003. Johnson opened the thick 2003 case file that had been stored in archives for 18 years. Detective Michael Anderson had conducted the comprehensive original investigation at that time. Anderson was now 68 years old and retired. Johnson called him that evening. "Victoria Martinez," Anderson said slowly. "I never forgot that case. She was a wonderful young girl. Everyone in the community loved her. Brilliant, passionate, an amazing engineer. She disappeared after project work on Friday night. We searched for months. We found no trace." "Were there any suspicious individuals at the time?" Johnson asked. Anderson paused. "The robotics coach, Marcus Stone. He was very helpful, concerned. There was nothing suspicious at that time. He was Victoria's closest mentor. He loved her very much." DNA comparison was immediately conducted at the Minnesota State Police Forensic Laboratory. Victoria's mother, Carmen Martinez, 66 years old, still lived in Minneapolis, just 5 miles from the school. A reference DNA sample was collected. Carmen's hands were shaking. A week later, the result came. Definite match. The skeleton was Victoria Elena Martinez. Victoria Elena Martinez was born on February the 12th, 1985 in Minneapolis. Her mother, Carmen Martinez, was a 30-year-old electrical engineer. Her father, Roberto Martinez, was a software developer. Victoria was the Martinez family's first child. She had a younger sister, Sophia. The family lived in a neighborhood near the Technology Center in northern Minneapolis. As a child, Victoria was curious, loved taking things apart. At 10, she built her first robot. At 13, she won first place at the state science fair. At 15, she became team leader at the National Robotics Competition. When she started at Minneapolis Central High School, she was the star of the STEM program. Her coach, Mr. Stone, immediately saw Victoria's potential. This girl could go to MIT, Become a world-class engineer, he thought. In fall 2003, Victoria was 18 years old and a high school senior. That year, she aimed to win the national robotics competition and receive full scholarship admission from MIT. She was working on an artificial intelligence project. Victoria's closest teammates were Alex Chen and Jessica Rodriguez. The three would code together, design robots together. Victoria was happy. She had dreams. But there was something Victoria didn't know. Robotics coach Marcus Stone was watching her. Marcus Edward Stone was born in Minnesota in 1957. His family was middle class. His father was a technician. His mother was an accountant. Marcus grew up with a passion for engineering. He studied mechanical engineering in college but couldn't succeed in the industry. He became a teacher. In 1997, he started as robotics coach at Minneapolis Central High School. Marcus was a quiet, withdrawn man. He had a brief marriage at 51 but divorced. He had no children. He lived alone in a small house near the school. He loved his job, but carried the pain of being a failed engineer. He would watch his students, especially talented young girls. In fall 2003, Marcus noticed Victoria. She would come every day, do projects. Marcus would watch her. Victoria was talented, brilliant, an amazing engineer. Marcus became obsessed with her. In Victoria, he saw his own lost dreams. He enjoyed working with her, mentoring her, but a dark thought was growing inside him. Friday, October 24th, 2003 was a cold fall day in Minneapolis. The weather was cool but sunny. Victoria woke at 7 a.m. as usual. Today was project work. She put on her school clothes, tied her hair in a bun, prepared her school bag. Carmen was making breakfast. "Good morning, sweetheart," said Carmen. "Good morning, Mom. Today we'll work on the AI algorithm. I'm excited. It'll be great." Victoria drank a glass of orange juice, ate a sandwich. At 7:45 a.m., she went to school. The school day went normally. Victoria attended her classes, sat with teammates at lunch. At 3:30 p.m., the last class ended. At 4 p.m., the robotics team meeting began. Marcus Stone was leading. Victoria gave a project presentation. Alex talked about hardware. Jessica explained software. The meeting was intense. Marcus discussed every detail. At 9:30 p.m., the meeting ended. Students gathered their belongings. Victoria went to her locker. She organized her notes, arranged her books. Just as she was about to leave, Marcus appeared at the laboratory door. "Victoria, do you have a minute? The project presentation was good, but I want to show you something. A new AI algorithm. You can make your code much more efficient. Just 5 minutes. There's a quiet area in the equipment storage. We can concentrate." Victoria hesitated. "Now? My mom is waiting. It'll be very quick, I promise." Could really improve your project, Victoria thought. Mr. Stone was the robotics coach, her mentor, a trusted person. They had worked together for years. Okay, but it has to be very quick. Marcus led Victoria out of the laboratory, through the narrow corridor, to the equipment storage. The area was dark, deserted. Victoria felt uncomfortable. "What's the algorithm?" Marcus turned. "Victoria, I've been watching you for years. You're special. You're so talented. You have something I never had." Victoria backed away. "Mr. Stone, what are you doing? I need to go home." Marcus's face changed. "You should be mine. You shouldn't go to MIT. You should stay here, with me." Victoria tried to run, but Marcus was faster. He caught her. Victoria screamed. Marcus put his hand over Victoria's mouth. There was a heavy metal robot arm on the shelf. Marcus grabbed it and struck Victoria's head. Victoria fell to the ground. Marcus backed away. He was out of breath. What had he done? Marcus looked around. No one was there. He dragged Victoria's body into the small storage area. Then he found concrete blocks, mortar to build a wall. He worked all night long. By 6 a.m., the wall was complete. Marcus went to Victoria's locker. He left everything as it was. He organized the notes. Then he went home. Marcus looked around. No one was there. He dragged Victoria's body into the small storage area. Then he found concrete blocks, mortar to build a wall. He worked all night long. By 6 a.m., the wall was complete. Marcus went to Victoria's locker. He left everything as it was. He organized the notes. Then he went home. Carmen Martinez began to worry at 10:15 p.m. The meeting had ended at 9:30. Victoria always came out right away. Carmen drove to school. She entered the STEM building. She couldn't see Victoria. She went to the laboratory. It was empty. But Victoria's locker was organized. Her notes were there. Her books were there. But Victoria wasn't there. Carmen called the police. The Minneapolis Police Department took the missing person report. Detective Anderson took the case. The facility was searched. Victoria's locker was examined. Everything was normal, but Victoria wasn't there. Anderson questioned Marcus Stone. "Did you see Victoria?" "Yes, Detective. I saw her going to her locker after the meeting." "Did she seem normal?" "Yes, she was tired but fine. She gave a great presentation." Anderson took notes. Marcus seemed calm. Days became weeks. Search teams scanned Minneapolis. The FBI joined. No trace was found. The case went cold. Years passed. Marcus Stone continued his life. Every year, a memorial service was held for Victoria. Marcus always attended, gave speeches. In 2021, when William Chen broke through that wall, everything changed. Detective Johnson worked with genetic genealogy specialist Dr. Emily Wang. A DNA profile was created. 3 weeks later, a match came. Marcus Stone. September 11th, 2021, 6 a.m. Johnson came to Marcus Stone's house. Marcus opened the door. He was 64 years old. "Marcus Stone, you're under arrest in connection with the murder of Victoria Martinez." Marcus bowed his head. 18 years, he whispered. "At the station," Marcus confessed. He told everything about that Friday night. "Why?" Johnson asked. Marcus was silent. "She should have been mine. She shouldn't have gone to MIT. She was going to do what I couldn't." The trial began in October 2021. Marcus was charged with first-degree murder. The jury decided guilty. The judge announced the sentence, life in prison. Carmen Martinez spoke. "My daughter was 18 years old. Marcus Stone took her from me. He lied for 18 years." Minneapolis Central High School STEM building was expanded. Victoria Martinez, Memorial Robotics Laboratory. Bronze plaque, Victoria Elena Martinez, 1985 to 2003. Her dreams were stolen, but her memory lives on. If this story moved you, please subscribe and hit the like button. Every subscription helps us continue investigating cold cases that families are still waiting to solve. Drop a comment telling us where you're watching from and which unsolved case you'd like us to cover.